And welcome back to Primetime Local News, talking sports one more time before we take a break this Christmas. Now, the only sports that really had anything going on this weekend wasn't sports. I should have said sport, and that is hockey. A lot of hockey this weekend. Junior teams finishing off their first half schedules, and not so great for one team, plenty great for the other, although with a caveat, as you are obviously close to this with the Lloydminster Bandits.
Yeah, Bandits had a couple of games in the last week, Frog Lake and Vermilion, both exciting games. Overtime wins, an overtime shootout win against Vermilion. A game where the Bandits had to come back. They were down 3-1, come back, they tied up, and then win in the overtime shootout. And then against Frog Lake, kind of the other story there, up 2-0 on Frog Lake, let Frog Lake back in it. They tied it up, went to overtime. That's where the Bandits won it. So 4 wins, and you know what? The Bandits, winners of 7 of their last 8 games, sitting in 3rd place. So you almost don't want to go on the Christmas break, but you do. And the other team the Bobcats can't wait to get to the Christmas break.
Yeah, they can't wait to get to the Christmas break, particularly because of the way this past weekend went. Their 3-game road trip in Calgary, a grueling one at that, but a 5-3 loss to the Calgary Mustangs, a competitive game. Once again, they were a little short. Blown out 8-2 by the Eagles and in Canmore, and then finished up in Okotoks. We're down 5-0, managed to cut that deficit to 2 with a few minutes left in the third, but too little too late at that point.
Yeah, in the last 2 games, you kind of like to see the way they battled back in those games to make a game of it. Unfortunately, end result is still 2 losses on Saturday and Sunday, and of course a loss on Friday. You know what, a lot of times I've been connected to the Bandits now for going on 6 years, and even covering junior hockey back in the day. If you're having a tough season, the month of December is tough because that first week you're still playing games. That second and third week, and if you're having a tough year, the kids can't wait to get home for Christmas because many of them aren't from Lloydminster, so they can't wait until the Christmas break is here and they can go home. So sometimes losing focus becomes something that the coaching staff has to be aware of and try to get those guys focused again. So, you know, possibly that a lot of different things came into play for the Bobcats in the weekend. They had a couple of guys hurt, a couple of guys sick, and a suspension on top of that. So tough when you're kind of putting a lineup together when you're on the road picking up affiliates down south like they did on Sunday.
And so when they get back from the Christmas break, as you were saying, guys out of the lineup, they're going to look forward to having Zach Ziegler back on defense. Riley Hogan did make an appearance on Sunday. They'll also have Hunter Lamb back on offense, and hopefully Captain Zach Kaiser will finally get back. He's had his wrist in a cast, obviously, for more than a month now. They were designating his return around late December, so hopefully that schedule keeps in line, and they could really use his scoring touch for sure.
Yeah, more than anything, what you look for the Bobcats right now, and it's been a tough first half. Who's kidding who? It costs a head coach's job, and right now trying to put the pieces together and moving forward. And sometimes when you have a break like this, it's just hitting the reset button. You know, forget what happened in the first few months, guys. Let's finish off strong. If we finish off strong enough, whatever happens, happens, and maybe we get a shot at a playoff spot. But more than anything, just do the little things right. And I think that's what Nigel Dubé is going to focus on here in the second half of the season, coming back out of the Christmas break.
And we'll hopefully see them take those lessons into account as they go along. Remembering, of course, it is still a young team. And we'll have more coming up in the next hour on Primetime Local News. Of course, we have some of the new year to chat about, as it's a very exciting 2018 for local sports here in Lloydminster. So we'll be back. For now, let's have more on Primetime Local News.